So we've got a piece of paper here, which is A4, and we're going to try and find the center. We've got our materials, a ruler, a pencil, a pigment fine liner at 0.2 millimeters, a protractor, and a compass. So the first thing to do is to find the center of the paper, because we want to use that as the center of the mandala. So you use your ruler and pencil, find the middle point. There we go. And you do the same on the other side. Draw a faint line going across. We'll be rubbing that out once we finish, so make sure it's faint. Then find the center of that line. So usually it's 21 centimeters across and you go to 10.5. There we go. Okay, so that's a very important middle point there. So just make it a little bit more bold. There you go. So now we're going to use 1 centimeter spaces, and we're going to mark it across the line, the faint line that we've got. And those are going to provide us the lines for the circles. So I've done 7, so up to 7 centimeters there. So we're going to have 7 circles. So to use your compass and your pencil, again, try and create faint lines. You want to be able to rub them out afterwards. Don't press too hard on the paper. I'm using just plain normal sort of printer paper here, but you can use paper card, anything that allows a really good flow of ink is the best thing, but I'm just using this because we want to just create the basics here. So excuse my, this always happens to me. Excuse how I do this, but you want to create the guide which you'll draw your mandala on. So let me just finish this up. Again, do it on the table or anything. I'm sitting on my sofa here, and I've got my faithful clipboard that I've had for years. And this is one of those things where I'll give you some insight. I actually sit and draw on my sofa. It's my place where I can have my coffee and just spend some time creating something from nothing. So there you go. It does get harder the closer you get to the center, which kind of is a metaphor for life. Last one. Okay, so that's all done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to line up our protractor with the faint straight line that we've created, mark the 90 degree, and mark it at 10 degree spaces all around the circle. So you'll mark it at 100, 110, 120, etc. all the way around, and this will do 180 degrees. And then we'll turn the paper around and do the other side. Okay, so that's one side done. Then flip it over and repeat. Make sure that your 0 marks are aligned with the faint line that you've drawn, and the center is with the center. And again, mark it at 90 degrees, and then mark it at 10 degrees all the way around the circle. There we go. Now what we want to do, once we've achieved that, is get our ruler, and we want to draw our lines. So the easiest is across the top. Yep. There we go, where you marked 90 degrees on both sides. So it will split it down the middle. And then we want to do the same. So the 10 degrees to the 10 degrees across the page, just like that. And keep doing that. Across the whole thing. Again, keep your lines faint as possible, so that once you've drawn the outline with your pigment liner, you can rub these lines out and they're not visible anymore. Too much pressure on the page, and I speak with experience, doesn't rid these lines. So yeah, just keep it loose, keep it soft, and just make it as faint as possible, but enough so that you can see and it guides you enough to create a symmetrical piece of work. We're now going to use our pigment liner, which I find is the best type of sort of pen to use for a mandala drawing. I use them religiously. I've gone for a 0.2 millimeter thickness of pen, which is the base that I use in all my work, just to get the first sort of lines. What I've done is I've drawn around the first inner circle, and now I'm creating a very basic sort of arc shape that you can see is the same size all throughout, and it touches the second circle line. So you can see once you do that, then I'm marking 3 squares to make my next shape in the next circle. This will help you really well to ensure that you keep to the value of symmetry in your mandala. There we go. And now watch what I do here. I take it along and then I go halfway point in the third circle to create a petal-like shape. And I repeat that with every 3 sections, if that makes sense. So you want to continue that around the whole thing to create these petal type shapes. now that's done and it's pretty symmetrical, I am starting to add a little bit of detail where I create a similar pattern within each petal design. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide you through a basic pattern here, but I'm going to leave the inside parts blank because I'm someone that likes a guide up until a point, and then I want to see what I'm made of, and I want to pass that value on to you as well. So I'll guide you, but I want to see what you create once I've finished guiding you, to see where you are with your own work. So see how I've done that there. There you go. And now I'm going to add a little bit more detail here. So I'm going to add these small circles. Again, just to build on the base pattern. There you go. So you can see it's starting to take shape. It's keeping to its symmetry as well. Now I'm going to use the rest of the space that we have to create a slightly more arced shape petal. But again, it keeps to the 3, and we want to repeat that all the way around. So you see, a mandala, as you know, means circle. We want to keep the value of symmetry here. Cleanness of lines is something that you'll start to build on. That's why the pencil guide helps quite a bit. But apart from that, it's one of those things where you can just build it as you choose. And again, as I mentioned before, I'm someone that wants to see what people are made of when it comes to their artwork. So there's not much more I'd want you to learn from this, bar just the first steps, and then take it wherever you want to take it. Color it in, create more designs within these spaces. Just do what you please. It's your mandala, it's your creativity, and it's you. It's a reflection of you. So yeah, just enjoy it, really. So you see, that's done, and I'm going to repeat what I did with the other design, which is just create a smaller shape within that shape. So we've done that, and I'm just going to add these circles again, just to fill that gap in between each one. And there we have it. That is your basic mandala guide, and we want to rub it all the penciled lines out, so you're left with your space to add your creativity. Here we go. Now, just to mention, my pigment liners they're waterproof, but they're also quick drying, so I did this straight away. I would advise you to just give it a few minutes before you start rubbing it out. But there you go.